CEANY to me always meant modeling leadership. Okay, this is what it meant to me for the next generation of continuing education professionals, right? It meant the ability to provide professional development to education leaders who need it, those that are in the pipeline to become leaders.
And this amazing association with all these colleagues from all over New York State who are always so generous with their thoughts and their solutions, and also just commonalities that we all go through. What are the pain points? Why can't we get past this? Why do we never have any money? Why do they always want us to do all these things with so little resources? And yet we find a way, and we do this through the sense of community.
Having a professional community that you can reach out to understand what challenges we're all facing at the same time, and brainstorming on solutions. And, you know, I've always found it immensely helpful, and just having people that you can reach out to that understand what you do and how it needs to be done is vital. And I think that's why the association is so important and will become more important in the years to come.
And the opportunity to meet with others doing comparable work, I thought was always huge. CEA New York, I always felt was the opportunity for somebody who wanted to do more on a leadership basis, more than what they were able to do at their own institution. Here, the door was wide open.
So being able to get together with people on a regular basis and find out that, hey, you're not the only one doing this. And the fact that you could tap into that knowledge and find out that maybe you weren't doing it the right way, or maybe there's a better way of doing things, and being able to share that knowledge.
I always try to seek better ways to do something I did yesterday, you know, and that connection to the organization, doing my part with those around me to support the greater good. So in a way, CENY has allowed me to practice these philosophies and disciplines. You know, it represents to me that strong entity that connects like-minded people across the state to support and learn from each other. This allows, you know, me, you know, and anyone who's a part of CENY to better support our students and our institutions. It's not just about us. That's the other thing.
The association gave me the opportunity, first of all, to reach out to all of my counterparts, not only in the senior colleges, but in the universities, the community colleges. And it was not that hard to find out new ideas for programming, new ways of skinning, you know, old cats, new ways of getting around certain bureaucratic hurdles that we're facing.
What I value most from the experience of being a part of this group is the fact that you shared information and asked questions of your colleagues, and you ended up with a learning experience that was unparalleled.
It's innovation, it's learning about new models, new partnerships, new financial and marketing approaches from the other CEANY members, and it's colleagues who care about the future of people of New York State and supporting those students, those people in our communities to succeed.
It was a source for inspiration because you'd see what colleagues were doing and feel proud of the profession and of them, and also a source for wonderful ideas and knowledge. And one of the things about CENY over the years is members were always eager to help one another.
And I think when you're part of the Continuing Ed Association of New York, you see the different diversities in the continuing ed programs. You know, there are communities that are very rural, and they have their needs that have to be met.
Continuing ed is the type of area that you really need support, because you can be feeling very lonely on your own campus, because whether it's a 2-year college or a 4-year college, not everyone understands continuing education.
The time that I was president, I was managing a lot. I was pregnant. I was birthing my child, and it was a lot of things to manage. But I think in that spirit of growth, literally, I also got to depend so much on the amazing support around me, right? But also lead a team of people to really set down a new generation of where we want the association to grow. And I'm talking about really opening up the doors of diversity. How do we bring in more representation, people of color that reflects the audience that we serve?
You know, how to try to find a path forward through influence rather than just pushing your way through, because so often in continuing ed, you have to be the pushiest person in the room. That doesn't necessarily work when everybody's the pushiest person in the room.
CEANY was a big part of my professional career, all right? The association presidency was important not only for my own career satisfaction when I was president from 1997 to 1998, but also for changing my status on campus, okay? With the college administration, becoming an industry leader boosted not only confidence in my ability, but I could also see that the president saw me in a different way after I received the presidency of CEANY.
It changed me professionally from I think more of a confidence factor, being able to, especially when I was elected president.
Definitely boosted my confidence. It also provided just a significant learning opportunity for me on leadership, and I will never forget it.
I think it was a good foundation from which to launch a fairly successful career.
It's a good life, and it was a fabulous career, and CEA New York provided the wings to push me up that ladder of success, and I'm very grateful for that.
I've learned so much and benefited from so many rich relationships as being part of CEANY. I can call anyone that I've met from a CEANY event at any time. And I've made lifelong friends being part of CEANY and wouldn't change my 14-year history as part of the organization for the world.
The state needs an advocacy group because the populations we serve are often disenfranchised. And by having a group like CEANY, we as people just on the college campuses, whether we're in the leadership of CEANY or not, we know that there's somebody out there fighting for us.
The conferences are fantastic. It gets people to come together. You see the work that everybody is doing on their campuses, and the vast differences. There's such diversity in what's happening in New York State that it's truly amazing.
I think it's just watching people let loose, right? Seeing our conference members you would never imagine this quiet person suddenly busting out, it's raining men. And you get to see these people as like, wow, what a cool person. They do all these things and they have a set of pipes. So that I think all conferences have those things. And I think it's just those moments afterwards where we all just get together and have a good time.
And I learned a lot more from the people afterwards in the breakouts, and I got so much of that after the conferences, at the dinners and the breakouts and the cocktail hours, and just picking people's brains one-on-one and what's working and what isn't.
I think that, just to try to be as involved as possible, try to reach out to any and all schools that you think are relevant to what you're doing, and even not quite so relevant, to understand what they do and why they do it, how they do it. I think a lot of times we're reinventing the wheel on our campuses, and we could really learn from each other.
I think one of the things that is very important is mentorship. All right. And not to be afraid to reach out to CEANY and see who would they recommend.
I think that there is a massive shift in higher education afoot right now. And it was only exacerbated by the pandemic, in that more and more people are interested in smaller chunks of very practical learning that, when stacked, can kind of coalesce into something larger, but very specifically attuned to the needs of the work world and the profession and the industry that they're targeted for.
I guess I would just say, don't ever lose your edge. And don't ever get discouraged, because sometimes it is discouraging, because it's hard. It's hard to keep fighting for money. It's hard to keep, saying, yes, we need this. It's hard to keep trying to renew things every year and make sure that they're, relevant.
If you get to serve on a search committee for provosts and presidents, I think you need to look for somebody. You need to be that voice at the table who's looking for somebody who really has respect for continuing education and non-credit work and how it links to credit.
Pick those brains of all of the people that have been doing this job for years, because the only dumb question is one unasked.
I think my hopes would be that, that first of all, that it does stay together, and that there continues to be that same open exchange of ideas and partnerships, which I think have developed. I think CUNY and SUNY have partnered on several major grants that have really impacted the state and the development of the workforce, because so much is needed. I mean, particularly now.
But I think going forward, the real key is effective leadership for the association. And whoever is selected, and it's maybe not just the president, but it's going forward, all the different positions, committees and so forth, they're hugely important for people doing the doing.
Getting more members involved, more members aware of what the organization, is doing.
More involvement, newer blood. It's always good to get new people on board, because you want to get new ideas. Fresh blood is always good. And then also just encouraging a younger generation of leaders, right? Thought leaders. Anyone can be a thought leader wherever you are. So you have value to share. And if you are in this field of continuing education and you value lifelong learning, you are already living this life and you have things that you can share with others, right? So do not be afraid to step up to the plate and share what you have with the rest of us, because there's value in that. So for me, I'd love to see newer faces, fresh up, and just new energy. That's always fun, to meet new people and to hand the reins over.
Some of my fondest memories are the auction battles, where there was the camaraderie of the group, where they were battling for one item or another, and it was simply out of fun. And then the secret wheelings and dealings that were going on so that they could drive up the price of one item or another, where individuals were going in on the items. And I think that represents the community, that we try to make it fun, and we have a very strong competitive spirit, but it's all in good fun.
For me, it's always about that social connection. Afterwards, we all know who the karaoke kings and queens are.
And one of my favorite memories is a group singing "It's Raining Men." I'll never, ever forget it.
At the conferences, and it was a great opportunity to travel around the state to different places where probably you haven't been before, to look, see, and even maybe play a tourist after the meeting or something.
For the evening program, they had a boat that was on Chautauqua, and it was going to be like a happy hour cruise, so to speak. But anyway, the bar was at one end, and out came an announcement on the speaker that we needed to move and spread our weight out because the boat couldn't move, because one end was so much heavier.
Those awards to those outstanding adult students over the years, it is so powerful to see them get up there and has received the award and talk about their experiences and what got them there. And you can sit back there as a professional and say, wow, look at what we're doing as a group. That I can remember, that's by far the most moving part of being involved in that association. And CEA is watching those adults win those awards.